THiNK International here at Calibrate. I'm actually here with the founder of Calibrate, Chittim. How you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. Yeah.
What was the heart? This is only a couple years old, this conference, and well attended, incredible speakers. What was the heart behind starting Calibrate?
Yeah, the guts behind it is really just a group of people saying, hey, if we put some church multiplication leaders together and talked a little less about how to do church and more about the founder of the church, what would that look like? And how would that help reshape the church of tomorrow? And I think a lot of times we tend to ask the question, well, what's our vision, and am I a good enough leader, and how can I challenge my leadership, all these things, which are great questions. But when we start with those questions, we tend to base the church around us.
Right.
And it seems like the church is supposed to be based around Jesus. And it might actually be that the church will never be everything that Jesus bled and died for her to become unless we do base her around Jesus. And so that's the guts of Calibrate, a conference that really convenes just to talk about how do we align ourselves, calibrate ourselves around Jesus and his original purpose for us and his church.
And it was powerful. It was a great conference. Can you sum up, kind of in your own words, what you think took place over this last couple days?
Well, one of the things that I think happened and was the hope that would happen, we had a very eclectic blend of speakers, very huge variety of different leaders coming in. They all believe adamantly in doing church very differently than each other.
Oh, for sure.
And so one of the things that I just heard resonating again and again with people is I felt affirmed in who I am, that I don't feel like I'm needing to go out and retool everything that I am, adopt someone else's style or model or program or system or all these different things. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing. We need to redo that at different points. But for the most part, I think people walked away and felt like I'm doing what Jesus needs me to do, but I'm going to do it better from here on out, more aligned with him and what he wants me to do and how he's wired me and the purpose that I see that he has for us in Scripture. And so I love that people walk away going, okay, I don't have this huge amount of work that I've got to retool and redo everything, but I can just make a few tweaks and get a few more degrees closer to what he intends for me to be.
Right. Yeah. What's coming up? What's next year or the future for Calibrate?
Yeah, that's a beautiful question. The next thing that we're doing, Calibrate this year, as far as it's all a series of main stage events. So we've got all these main stage speakers. The next phase for us is to do actually the complete opposite. So we're going to instigate what we call Calibrate Labs, and instead of all a series of main stages, we're going to do all workshops. So it'll be completely different. Next year, at least, we'll probably still do a Calibrate main stage event in the fall, but in the spring, what we're excited about is we're going to experiment with very interactive environments, limit the small group size, and have speakers that'll speak to no more than a group of 50, so people can have great interaction with that speaker right there in that moment, and there'll be small group interaction with their team specifically to say, okay, now how do we apply this to the church? What best practices do we need to employ to make sure that we actually not just get this information, but it causes transformation, not only in us as a leader, but in our local church environment. So we're really excited about the Calibrate Labs focus in the spring.
And it sounds great. Hey, thanks so much for putting on Calibrate.